Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. And today I have for you a meme deck using Reptilians. Now there's a lot of ways to run this archetype, and I like that about the archetype a lot. So it's probably not going to be the last deck you're going to see from me using Reptilians. But this is just what I started off with. We're using balance because when I was trying a different build, I kept running into nothing but balanced heroes, and I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like that's like 80% of Legend right now. So because of that, I went to a balanced version to pretty much make sure that I have either Wall of Disruption to start with to protect myself, or I have a Jinzen Hu to just lock down all that back row, because running 2 Cyclones and running Galaxy Cyclone, Cosmic Cyclone, it doesn't seem like enough anymore. Some of them are running 8 traps, 6 spells, and 6 monsters, and that's just too much. So I tried out Jinzen Hu to lock down the back row instead and try to go in with your big monsters for, easy game. But the thing is, this isn't perfect either, especially because once they use their Galaxy Cyclone, they can destroy the Jinzen Hu face up using the card from the graveyard. So it's not perfect, but I did use it for this build. The other spells are 2 enemy controllers, 1 Gravity Lash, which can help make your opponents, depending on the monster, it can bring your opponent's monster down to 0, and then you can use your Reptilian effects. I'm running 3 Reptilian spawn. I think at one point I was running 2, and I had a second Gravity Lash, but this card is really important to have. Remove from play 1 Reptilian monster from your graveyard. Special summon 2 Reptilian tokens. Reptile type, Earth, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense to your side of the field. That is such a good effect. There's no restriction to this card. You can use more than 1 per turn. You can tribute those monsters for whatever you want. It's such a good card. I'm very surprised that it's a common card. The tokens having 0 attack and 0 defense is actually relevant for your Reptilian Vasky, which cannot be normal summon or set. It has to be special summon by attributing 2 face-up monsters with 0 attack from anywhere on the field. So that's why we're running cards like Gravity Lash and the Wall of Disruption to make your opponent's attack go to 0, and then you can tribute them to special summon the Reptilian Vasky. Also, once per turn, you can select and destroy 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, but you can only control 1 of these. Because we're running balance, I only have 1 Reptilian Vasky and 1 Reptilian Medusa, which is a level 6 monster, really cool card. Select 1 card, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and select 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. The attack of the selected monster becomes 0, and it cannot change his battle position. So if you have a Reptilian Medusa and a Reptilian Vasky and a Reptilian spawn, you can go for Reptilian spawn. Normal summon your Medusa, change one of their monsters' attack to 0 by discarding a card, and then special summon your Vasky with the other token and their monster. Try to go for game from there. That's why I want cards that are gonna take care of the back row so that I can make that play without being bothered and try to finish the game. And that's where I think there's a lot of potential for different builds with this deck. I want to try a last gamble build. I want to try different things. This is just to get you guys started. We have 3 Reptilian Garna, 2000 defense, really good. It stops all the small Destiny heroes. They can't get over it. They have to spend a mass change just to get over this. Even if they have something like Forbidden Chalice, they'll be right at 2000, so they still can't get over it. And it's really cool to have to force them activate a mass change just to get rid of this monster. And then once you get rid of it, when this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, add 1 Reptilian monster from your deck to your hand. So you can add any of the other monsters, including itself. Really cool generic searcher for the archetype. I really like this card. And we have 2 Reptilian Vipers. When this card is normal summon, you can select and take control of 1 face-up monster with 0 attack your opponent controls. That is such a meme that I love it. Stealing monsters from your opponent just basically for free is so cool. Then you can synchro with them, and guess what this guy does? This guy can steal any Yuval incarnation, and I love that about this little guy. Like you drop it on them, you steal their incarnate terror, and then play the long game, wait him out, deck him out. I don't know, but don't wait too long, because I did lose one matchup because I was trying to deck him out. He got a treacherous. It was a bad hands. And then I'm running one Reptilianne Scylla. If this card destroys a monster with 0 attack by battle, you can special summon that monster from your graveyard to your side of the field in face-up defense position. The effects of that monster is negated. So kind of like Goyo Guardian, but only for monsters with 0 attack. But it works if they attack into it. You wall of D, their attack becomes 0. You know, they take all that damage, and then you steal the monster. I'm still only running the one. Like, that's why I want to try a different build so that I can pack more monsters in. It's just with what I was facing, I had to go with this. I am running some extra deck. Sorry, I forgot there is a synchro monster for this archetype. Reptilianne Hydra, one Reptilianne tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. When this card is synchro summoned, destroy all face-up monsters with 0 attack that your opponent controls, then draw 1 card for each monster destroyed. Really cool effect. It's devastating when you go into it after a wall of D. You just clear their board, get a bunch of cards. But I didn't actually use her that much, and that's kind of the issue I was having with this deck. You can win with it. By the way, this first replay has Yuval because I was using Allure of Darkness. I wanted to level up Yuval and I wanted to try that skill, but it didn't really work out as well as I intended it to because of what I've been saying. There's just too much back row going on, too much Destiny heroes, so I had to go with a different build and in order to make this work. So we're gonna begin Zane, life point boost, alpha. See, in this build I had Cosmic Cyclone, I had stuff to destroy back row, but when they summon one hero and then just set 3, the next turn they set another 2, it's like, what do you do? So here we're gonna go double Cosmic Cyclone. And I kind of did that to lose the 2000 life points so that I could get my skill if I needed to. But this was lovely. He goes into Amazoness Fighter, attacks right into my wall of disruption. And I figured he was gonna Amazoness Queen to get rid of the Amazoness Fighter since it has 0 attack. But I have a backup wall of disruption, you know, for the following attack. Meanwhile, his Amazoness Princess is at 0 attack. I pick up Reptilianne Scylla, so we're gonna destroy the princess and bring him down to and steal the monster. So here I'm gonna use Wall of Disruption, obviously because I don't want it to get destroyed by Amazoness Sage. I bring the monsters back to 0, but I'm also gonna use my Gravity Lash on my Reptilianne Scylla, because if he tries to suicide into it with my, with his Amazoness Swordswoman, and I keep him at 1800, I'm only left with 200 life points. So I was trying to preserve some life. I can't remember if he suicides, because if he does, I steal the monster. So I kind of put him in a predicament. He decides to just attack the face down princess, and then I pick up Reptilianne Viper, which that was kind of quick. So I summon. I could have, if I had space, I could have stolen one of the Amazoness, but the fact that they stayed on his side on the field means that when my synchro monster hits the board, I destroy both of them and I draw 2 cards. That is insane value. I finished the game there anyway because it was low enough, but imagine doing that, destroying their monsters, drawing into more back row. That's why I think this deck has, it definitely has potential, and it's a very cheap deck. Most of the cards besides one of the boss monsters are rare or under, so I think this deck is going to be accessible to a lot of people, and that is a good thing, because then everyone can try different builds and we can run into a bunch of fun builds with it. Like I said, I'm working on a Last Gamble one for later, but here we're going up against Leo. I have Shinzen-Hu and Wall of Disruption, and we're just going to summon the Reptilianne Scylla, and we're going up against Morphtronics. He's gonna get a cell phone with another cell phone, and then he's gonna get a Radion. I didn't really read that much into this monsters, but as soon as we see the double set, I'm gonna use my Shinzen-Hu, and that is already a huge advantage for me, especially against a power tool deck, because obviously they need their back row space for equip cards. So if he equips anything, then he's done. He can't use any defensive back row after that. So we're gonna destroy one of the cell phones. He's gonna roll a 6 with this guy. I'm sorry, with this guy. And I haven't played Morphtronic enough to know exactly what he's trying to do here. He's gonna special summon a Scopen. And now he can go into Power Tool Dragon. I'm gonna let the animation rock, why not? Transformers. More than meets the eye. Okay, so Power Tool Dragon. I believe he didn't have 3 equips in the deck, so he couldn't activate the effect. But it's gonna use Smartphone. There's the double C and what is it? Double C and D. But he has 3 monsters, so as soon as he runs into my wall of D, he's gonna have to spend that equip, and he leaves himself wide open with a 0 attack monster. I'm gonna econ take so that I can get a reptile monster in the graveyard for my Reptilianne spawn. Use those 2 tokens to special summon my Reptilianne Vasky. Activate the effect. I could have used the power tool as one of the tributes, but I wanted to keep, you know, a 0 attack monster in attack mode so that I can just end the game that way. Destroy the cell phone. The back row is locked. Nice and easy. The only thing that could have stopped me there was a Karibo. Here we have a Mako. So double balance. There's the D heroes we know and love. So immediately you see 2 back row and a monster. I'm just gonna go triple back row. I'm kind of baiting him into a false sense of security so that I can use Drowning Mirror Force on a couple of monsters. So here I use the econ first because I know there's a mass change back there, and I wanted to Drowning Mirror Force the Anki instead. I still can't really do anything. I had the misfortune of drawing both of my big monsters, you know, to start the duel. I have a Reptilianne spawn, so all I need is a Reptilianne in the graveyard and I'll be good to go. But I have 2 Wall of D, so I'm feeling pretty confident. He's gonna use Drill Dark's effect, which is perfect because I get to Wall of D 2 monsters. Luckily for me, he didn't have another mass change there. And I can immediately tribute both of them at 0 attack to special summon my Vasky. I didn't want to attack into triple back row, especially since I had the Shinzen Hoot. So I just wait until his draw phase, lock 2 of them. He's gonna use the Canadia, super unfortunate, and that's a huge weakness to this deck. These monsters have no defense other than Medusa, and that's 800 defense. So unfortunately, we're gonna get double Canadia. And he's gonna get a Canadia in the on the field. Top deck's Cosmic Cyclone, but he decides to use it on the unknown back row, which was very surprising. So his back row is still locked down, which is good for me. Now I can use Reptilianne spawn, tribute, attack into the Canadia. He picks up Destiny Draw, goes for another Cyclone, so his back row is now free. Summons a Destiny Hero, destroys Decider, destroys my token, gets a Drill Dark. But look how back and forth these duels are. Double trap tribute for Witch Raider. Luckily for me, I had Gravity Lash, so I can use it on the Witch Raider and protect my Medusa. Of course, if he had a mass change there, I would have lost. But yeah, I used my Medusa's effect to turn Vision Hero Witch Raider to 0 attack. I attack into a Wall of Disruption, but he was low enough, his life points were low enough that I was still able to win through the Wall of Disruption. Next we got an Officer Tetsu. And like I said, I did duel a lot of balanced heroes. I didn't save every single one of those replays because, you know, it's the same matchup. I wanted to kind of show you guys different duels. Here we're going up against Tetsu. Another Morphtronic. So we got Reptilianne Stealer. And it was nice to force the Pulse Mines early. I didn't, you know, I wasn't too worried about that. Unfortunately, he destroys my Wall of D, which made me very salty. Rolls a 4, gets a Scopen to the hand. synchro summons into Goyo Chaser. Luckily for me, I still have the enemy controller, so I'm able to protect myself. We're gonna set an econ set at Gravity Lash and just destroy that Goyo. He decides to use Slingin again to destroy my monster. I wasn't sure if the effect stopped by me switching him into defense mode. It does not, because it already activated. But I guess I still protected myself from the attack, even though his monster got destroyed. Not sure why. I didn't see how it was summoned. That's probably why it got destroyed. So we're gonna see Morphtronic Accelerator on my Jin Senhu, which is bad, but not the end of the world. He's not running a lot of back row. And then he gets a Galaxy Cyclone, destroys my Gravity Lash. So here I'm just kind of, holding on to dear life. Luckily for me, we've both spent a lot of resources. Finally pick up a Reptilianne Garna, and all for him to not even try to attack it. He's gonna destroy the back row yet again with his Slingin. Going to Stardust Dragon. Destroy my Garna, that's completely fine. And this is the play that I was talking about. Once you have your Reptilian spawn and you have Reptilian Medusa with Reptilian Basky, it's pretty busted. You activate the spell first, obviously. Tribute summon for Medusa. Pitch a card from the hand to reduce their monster's attack to 0. And then I can tribute the Stardust and the remaining token to just go for game. So that's where I think the OTK build for this deck would be, trying to get rid of back row and have that end setup with something like Last Gamble. So that's probably what I'm gonna go for. Then we got an Akiza to end things off. This might be another Destiny Hero matchup. Yep, double balance. So we start with Reptilian Garna, which is ideal. We get a Searcher right away. And look at this, 1600, can't do anything to my Reptilian Garna. Has to activate the Mass Change. Normally the Mass Change, they save it, to dodge Canadia, an enemy controller, stuff like that. He's forced to use it on my little turtle Garna. I let him destroy that even though I have a enemy controller, because I won my search off and I won the Garna in the graveyard since I already have Reptilian spawn. And even though I know he's getting a second Mass Change, all I have to do is take this Decider damage and then use the econ on the remaining Enki. During the end phase, I get to lock both of his back row, so nothing can stop my play. And that is huge, because like I said, this deck struggles a lot against things like Canadia, stopping your plays in the middle of your shenanigans. So we're gonna activate Reptilian spawn, tribute both tokens for my Vasky, destroy one with the effect, destroy one with the attack. He top decks a Destiny draw, of course. Goes into Galaxy Cyclone, so the amount of value he got out of that top deck is insane. Not only did he drew into Galaxy Cyclone, he drew into another back row, and he's gonna be able to free up his back row the following turn. So I was pretty salty about that, but I still get my 2600 in. Galaxy Cyclone is gonna free up the back row, and we're just gonna start forcing it right here. We're going to the Canadia. The one weakness the deck has is that once they use their starting monsters from balance, they can struggle into drawing another monster. So that's what we're seeing here. They're getting all the back row. We're gonna force a Wall of Disruption, that's completely fine. I still have a Medusa backup. And he's also running Shin Senhu, so there goes my Wall of Disruption. Kinda salty at that. But in the same breath, he locked one of his own back row. So I'm able to just tribute summon for my Reptilian Medusa, attack over the Canadia, and that's game. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'm not saying this is going to be the best build for the archetype. This is just one of many that I'll probably use on stream. And just an introduction for those of you that haven't played around with them or haven't seen them on the ladder. Because I didn't run into any Reptilian at all while I was playtesting this. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. Really appreciate that. And until next time.